Well, as I said, Mr. Bailey, thank you so much for being a part of this, and Trinity, thank you so much for being a part of this. And I absolutely love Music is Unity and the organization. And I know when we were working on the Foster Challenge, it was really the first time we actually got to work together and things, and it was an amazing experience. And so, I really wanted to continue that. And as I, go on into American Idol and share my story, I wanted to make sure that I'm bringing in the communities that I'm connected to as well to share that story and to share um, the the information foster about foster care children and foster youth and the foster reform project that's taking place that you all are a big part of. So if we can, I would love to know, more about Music is Unity, the start of it, and all the work that you all are doing.
Sure. Hey, man, thanks again for having us. It was an honor to uh, to do the Foster Challenge with you earlier in the year. Um, but yeah, Music is Unity is our organization that we founded um, over 10 years ago.
Hmm.
And the reason why we chose foster care, and it's specifically um, emancipated foster care youth, was because it was such an underserved and under uh, publicized charity.
Hmm.
Um, you know, being a father of seven and a grandfather of seven, I couldn't imagine any of our village um, being out here in the world without any support system whatsoever.
Right.
The name actually came from some concert touring that we were doing with Chicago and watching the power of music uh, changing the whole dynamics, the whole atmosphere of our fans coming in to going out.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, what we've done over the years, a portion of our proceeds, our touring proceeds, have gone to fund organizations who are working with foster youth on the daily, making sure that they have all the necessities that they have that they need. Um, and organizations they reach out to us. They'll submit a grant, and Trinity will vet all that out, and then we will grant those grants as the finances are there. Trinity, you want
Hmm.
to take over a little bit?
Yeah. Hi. First and foremost, congratulations,
Yes,
American
sir.
Idol contestant. So
Thank you.
cool. And we were so happy that when Holly of Mixed Roots introduced us to you and to
Hmm.
see your achievements and to see that you went to the same school as my younger brother. And it was
Yes,
just kind of like,
Berkeley.
yay, yeah. So, but yeah, we pretty much help organizations that are hands-on with emancipated foster youth.
Hmm.
Um, as PB said, a portion of ticket sales go to those organizations. I would like to highlight Kids in the Spotlight, which is an organization that we've been riding with from day one.
Hmm.
They pretty much give youth the skills that they need to be able to write, produce, cast, direct, all the things
Yeah.
that you need to know about the music industry. I mean, the film industry, they
Yeah.
do. And we sponsor them and, all the things that they're doing for the community, as well as Beyond Emancipation up north, Oakland,
Hmm.
California, and
Nice.
Elevating Connections. That's an organization in Denver, Colorado. They are really special to us because one, Philip's from Denver, Colorado. Two,
Wow.
they bring siblings together. So each year they do a camp.
Oh, wow.
And the siblings that are not placed in the same foster homes or maybe adopted by different families, if they are able to bring them together for like a week or a weekend camp.
Wow.
So that's like really important to us because family is everything. And although certain situations happen in life, that are had nothing to do with the kids, and them being separated from their brothers and sisters. So those are the type of organizations that we, contribute to.
Right.
So we do a thing when we're on the road called our Backstage Soundcheck program. And we introduce kids to our touring family. We'll bring them in to our sound checks and then introduce them to different facets of all the different facets of our touring industry.
Wow.
In hopes that if any of them have any aspirations in the whole touring thing, they get more information and so forth. In the future, we want to take that a step further and start to, maybe even have some mentorship going on while we're on the road touring and stuff like that.
No, I think that is so important, and all the information that y'all are sharing is, I think, so important because I myself, as a foster care or as a former foster care youth, it's really just it's difficult when you're in a system and you're in a stranger's home and you really don't have a whole lot of direction, and it's really difficult, I think, for a lot of foster youth to really kind of figure out who they are, figure out what they want to do when they're in situations of uncomfortability, and constant change. I myself was in 5 different foster homes in a matter of 6 months, and it was consistent change. It was new environments, and there was, the actual system. They were saying that they were helping, they were giving therapists and people that you can call and things like that, but there really wasn't a whole lot of undergird. There wasn't a whole lot of push. It was like, okay, we're going to place you here, this is where you're going to be, and that's kind of where you were. So all the work that you all are doing is incredible, especially for emancipated foster youth, because we know a lot of those foster youth, after they leave the system, I mean, they don't know what to do. It's like, they're almost thrown to the wolves. And I myself, I didn't have to experience that. My mother actually was able to get me back, which I'm, thankful for. But my heart really goes out to all of the foster youth who are currently in the system and who are also emancipated, because life is already hard itself, but I think it's a little bit harder, especially for those in the foster system, because there's a lot that you don't get to learn. And it's amazing that you all are there to help them, and especially about the touring, because me being an artist and a musician myself, I would have loved to be a part of something like that, to see that. I mean, because it really gives you a spark. It gives you an idea of where you still can be, and give you a sense of awareness. Like, I could actually still do something, and I think that's what a lot of foster youth need. So
Well,
thank you all.
maybe in the future, we can get together and you can, give us some input or come out on some of those, and, just help to take it to the next level.
Oh, I would absolutely love to. I would love to, because, I think that's also a part of my mission, and my purpose is to use, my music, and to use, my story, and bring it together to help those who have been in my footsteps, in my shoes. And I would love to be a part of that, because, that I think that's something great for the arts as well, to really have, these youth come in and share their stories, and give them some sense of mentorship and direction as well, because that's something that I felt I really would have needed, if I was still in that position. So I would love to do that.
Well, just by you being on this show and showing, you're going to be such an inspiration for a lot of youth, and
no doubt,
kids that came through the system, through foster care. So you're going to be such an inspiration to show them that, with all the struggles that you had to go through, that you were resilient and you were able to muster through it. And so I just want to kudos to you and your accomplishments.
No, thank you. And I think that's the most exciting thing about being on the show. No matter how far I get, no matter where it ends, it's just an opportunity to share my story with the world on a platform like this, and to show. I really tried to make the point that foster youth, especially, can do whatever they want to do, can be whoever they want to be, as long as they hold on to those goals and those aspirations. And I think that that's the biggest thing is them having something to work for, to go for, and go after. And American Idol was one of my biggest dreams. One of the things I wanted to do since I was younger. When I was younger, my grandmother used to sit me in front of the TV and say, "You're going to be on that show," And it was like in the early stages, and she used to sit me in front of the TV. We used to watch every season. And we always talked about, I was going to be on that show. I'm going to be on that show. At the time, I was too young to actually audition, so we were waiting until I got of age. Then some things happened in life, and this opportunity actually came up, without me even going after it. They approached me about it, and they had seen some of my videos, and they gave me an opportunity, and that's how it started. So it's like everything kind of came full circle. So I think
That's exciting.
it is. It really is. And it's some of one of your good friends, Mr. Bailey, Mr. Lionel Richie.
All
Um,
right.
it was incredible getting to actually meet him on the set, and I actually got to sing one of his original songs, "Jesus Is Love,"
Hmm.
on the actual show, which
Okay.
was an amazing experience. So that it was just an all around just dream come true. And so, but as I said, the main goal is to show the world that there are foster youth out there that really need this attention. It's not talked about. I don't know why it's not talked about. Do you all have any input of why you think it's something that's kind of overlooked?
I often say that, um, you know, one of the reasons why it's possibly underserved is because, unlike some challenges that someone would have physically that you
Hmm.
can actually see,
Hmm.
um, you can't see the need uh, from afar.
Right.
That a lot of uh, foster youth have. Um, when you don't have any hope, or any support, you can't readily see that. You know, look at a person and know that, okay, that they're in that place, in that predicament. And
Right.
that's one of the reasons why we chose this as our long-term charity. To
Hmm.
help to make people more aware, and to champion their cause for them.
Hmm. No, I think that that's amazing, and that's a very interesting perspective, because I myself, I felt very almost, like I didn't want to share or say anything, to anyone specifically about what I was living through and going through, at the time, even though I was really young, just simply because when I would go to those, they would make you go to therapy sessions. They would check in every week. And every time I would go in and talk to the therapist and tell them what was happening, what was going in my mind, they gave me a new medicine.
Mm,
And I was on 7 different medications. They kept diagnosing me with ADHD, ADD, all these different behavioral disorders, when I really just wanted somebody to listen to me. Uh, and I think I think that that's why it's just so dear to my heart, because a lot of these foster youth really just want to be listened to. There's probably nothing really wrong with them, except for the fact that, I mean, they're probably in a situation that they would have never ever thought that they would be in, and there's nobody to go to and talk to. Um, and so I also feel that it's difficult for foster youth to even speak about it, to come out and talk about whatever happened in foster care, and because some things are not handled, some things are always swept under the rug and under the table. And And that's really what I want to see change. I really want to see that change. I really want to see foster youth, former and current, come out and speak about their stories and talk about what they're going through, and I think that would at least bring to the attention the kind of help that these foster youth need. You know, they don't need another medicine. You know, they need love. They need somebody to actually open up their ears instead of whatever else that they're doing. You know,
Exactly.
I think that's a really important, piece, to this, and an important piece of why you all matter as well. So, Mr. Bailey, I want to ask this question, if you don't mind. So, I would love to know, just to change the topic, who are your influences?
My main influences musically are in the jazz vein. You know,
Wow.
because I'm sitting here right now at the piano. I spend a lot of time, still chasing after my heroes. Um, but yeah, as a young kid, I I I fell in love with jazz,
Mhm,
um, and so I was listening to Sarah Vaughan and Morgana King
mhm.
Nancy Wilson and all
Yeah.
that stuff, and actually developed my falsetto, singing that stuff. And I didn't even know it was a falsetto, and until I grew, got up and started playing in clubs and stuff.
Right.
And a professor came by, watched one of our sets, and said, "Oh, wow, you have an amazing falsetto." Because I'm a natural baritone, and I was
Hmm.
studying operatic baritone.
Hmm.
So yeah, man, it's you know, Mahalia Jackson, you
Oh
know, of
man.
you know, Motown and stuff, and the Philly sounds and stuff, and all that stuff really influenced everybody. But
Hmm.
in my heart of hearts, it's a jazz thing. Yeah.
That's really incredible that you're saying that. When I first started college, I was actually at the University of Nebraska in Omaha before I went to Berkeley, and I actually studied jazz piano. I was a jazz piano major there. Um,
Right. Right.
because that I was really interested in learning more about chord progressions. I'm self-taught. I was really into jazz, and I really wanted to learn a lot more about piano, and so I started taking jazz. And so, when I transferred to Berkeley, I ended up doing voice, but I still was heavy into jazz piano. So I was studying,
Mm,
Art Tatum and Monk, and
right.
a whole bunch of different amazing, jazz heads and piano players of that time. Bud
Yeah.
Powell, Oscar
Yeah.
Peterson.
Me
So
too. Opens up your ears.
it does. It
It,
really
really
does.
opens up your ears.
And it really heavily influenced me musically, as an arranger and as a writer, and vocally as well. And one thing I do want to say and tell you is it's interesting to hear your influences, because your falsetto was what is one of the uh, influences for me. That's why it's you were one of the male vocalists that I studied to figure out how to manipulate and use my falsetto as a male vocalist, because it's not easy. It is not easy, and it takes a lot of work, and you are the master, when it comes to that.
You know what? I can hear those and those that in your music. I can really hear where you're coming from,
Mhm.
um, because you borrow, and create and borrow a lot of different things from a lot of places, um, that you would have had to listen to
Mhm.
other stuff to have been able to simulate all that stuff together.
Right. No,
Hmm.
yeah, you Earth, Wind and Fire, the Isley Brothers, so many great groups and musicians and artists, is kind of where I live. I love that music, and that's the music I grew up. My grandfather introduced me to your music. My uncles, and they all were listening to funk. They were listening
Mm,
to Motown and R&B, and
right,
so that's where
right.
I pull a lot of my influences from. especially when I'm writing, when I'm singing, when I'm arranging.
Hmm.
And so, so if you don't mind me asking this question, when you first heard me as an artist, what was your impression, and what did you think?
Well, like I was saying earlier, I could tell that you were listening to a lot of different stuff. To more than just the normal, the you know stuff that your age group would be listening to. You know, because of uh, the influences that I heard. Not only in your voice but in your production,
Hmm.
um, of your songs, your arrangements. You
Hmm.
know, your melodies and chord structures and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, no, thank you. And I absolutely just love writing. And that's actually what my major was at Berkeley. I graduated with a bachelor's in songwriting. And so even being at Berkeley and being exposed to, I mean, the endless, the endless amounts of music and culture there. I mean, it really even opened up my ears even more in my writing even more to everything that, it just made me this conglomerate of different worlds. And that's how I write now, and that's
Hmm.
how I think of music now. And so everything for me, just like you all, is big. I love big productions. I love the dancing and the lights and the full bands and things like that. And all that stems from all of my inspirations, before, even Michael Jackson, Prince, James Brown, are some of my favorites as well. And so you know, uh, I want to just, take this time and say thank you, because, all the work that you have done, all the work that you and Earth, Wind, and Fire have done, has really created, um, who I am as an artist. And I want to say thank you so much for everything that you have contributed to music as well.
Well, thank you. Thanks a lot. I mean, we all stand on the shoulders of those that come before us. So,
Hmm.
we just, it's just good to be part of the brotherhood of 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 artists and musicians.
I
You know,
agree.
folks that do what we do.
I agree. I agree. So can I actually ask you, do you have any particular advice, for an artist like me who is, I'm trying to, I'm up and coming, I'm trying to establish, myself and trying to, be the best artist that I can, more than just, making music, but, being an activist, being an entrepreneur, being mindful of business as well. Do you have any specific advice for someone like me who's trying to get into the industry?
Well, you're already in it. So um, I would say that you're doing so many things that are really really smart,
Mhm.
wise, and so I think you're in a really good place. You're a sponge. Like you soak up you know a lot of the right stuff that you need. You're aggressive and reaching out beyond yourself to other, to those places and the things that you need for what where you're going,
Mhm.
and you're exploratory. So those are things that you already have. So just keep on the path that you're on, and the good things are bound to continue to come to you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate all of your words of wisdom. Um, and I would absolutely love to continue to be in contact with you both. It's me and Trinity, we talk every now and then, and it's just amazing to that you all are just been so open and so kind to me, because it means the world, really, and it means even more that you're one of my musical influences, but you also care about the topic and the social topic that I care about and that I come from. So there's so many connections. We talked about Berkeley. We talked about all these amazing mixed roots. as well. And, I think that, I think some great things can definitely come out of this relationship, and I'm hoping, to hopefully one day even work with you, if
Yeah,
possible in the future as well.
Thank
most
you so
definitely,
much.
man.
Congratulations again. Obviously, I need to, as the co-director, put a plug in. If anyone wants to know more about Music is Unity, they can
Yes.
visit us on our website, which is musicisunity.org, to get involved, make a donation, spread the word.
Right.
We're also on IG and on Facebook. Music is Unity.
Yes. Do you have any future events actually coming up that you're working on, or that you're any endeavors that you have coming up?
We are in plan mode right now. So I
Okay.
actually have meetings coming up with some ladies that are, helping me out. So we're in plan mode for the year.
Okay.
But as you know, with this pandemic, the tour season is down. And so,
Yeah.
like we were saying in the beginning, a portion of the proceeds to touring from the ticket sales go to Music is Unity. So
Hmm.
I know that the world is struggling at this time, but
Yeah.
especially again, foster youth, because everyone, no shows. It's hard for us to keep up with the donations, although we
Right.
are, but I'm just putting that out there that
Hey.
we need those people to help and support, donate
Right.
to keep this going.
Right. No, and I 100% agree, and I think that is the beauty of Music is Unity. And I think that, that the world should continue to hear about you all, and I'm in full support of you all. And if you need me for anything, or for anything that you have going on, I would love to be a part, because this is definitely something that needs to be seen by the world and heard about by the world. And I think the more that this is pushed, the more that can be done for these foster youth.
Agreed.
No
Ashay.
doubt. No doubt.
So So I want to thank you all. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I just want to thank you both again for joining me and speaking with me. And I definitely look forward to all of the future things that are coming up. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Same to you. Same to you. Congratulations again.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I'll definitely talk to you both soon.
All right.
All right,
Take
for
care.
sure.
Alrighty.
Okay.
See you later.
Blessings.